Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about Chris Brown pissing off a large amount of his fan base. Now, I could get on here, I can act all kinds of outraged and, sell it, but I'm really not that outraged about it, honestly. The times that I kind of get up in arms and I feel away is if you're being a fake advocate and you're acting like you're here for black women when you're really not. And when you degrade black women to uplift light-skinned women and you shit on us and you talk down on us and you use that as a stepping stone to your preference, you just having a preference to liking lighter skinned women. It is what it is. Colorism is in the industry. A lot of the men in the industry, they like lighter skinned women. They like mixed race women. They like Hispanic women. They do not like a large amount of the industry men do not like brown skinned, dark skinned women. It is what it is. I experienced it when I did music videos. I'm not at all surprised by it. And the only time that I have a problem with it is, like I said, when you disrespect black women, brown skinned women, dark skinned women in your preference. Now, when I first seen this, I made a video about it earlier this morning when he first responded. And when he first responded, I'm just like, I'm not shocked about it. We see who he date. It is what it is. But during the course of the day, my daughter has swimming lessons today. It was a lot going on. By the time I got to the computer to edit the video and finally put it out, he then responded again. And I feel like his response the second go round was a lot more offensive than the lyrics in his song and his second response. But before I go to his final response, where I feel like it was a little bit too much, I'm going to first show you guys the initial response that people were up in arms about, and then I'm going to, go on down the line. So he just dropped this album, Indigo, and one of the songs, he says, he only want to F with the black bees with the nice hair. So if you hear this lyric, then you automatically know that he's referencing or, referring to women of mixed race as nice hair. A lot of black women, and shame on y'all, because I don't know why we defend certain things. Earlier in the day, I wasn't defending him. I just wasn't outraged about it, period. But a lot of us like to defend people who are not here for us. I'm not defending you, but I'm not going to be outraged about it. A lot of women were defending him and they were like, well, how do you know that nice hair means, coarse hair, or nice hair doesn't mean? We're not going to act dumb about it. We know what nice hair means. We see who he dates. We know what nice hair means, period. We're not going to act silly about what he means. He means what he means. He likes girls with what most consider to be nice hair and what most consider, whether you want to say, oh, my afro is nicely styled. Yes, it probably is, but that's not what he was referring to. He was referring to what most refer to as nice hair as being, mixed race, like loose curls type of hair. It is what it is. We're not going to beat around the bush and play either. So, there was a lot of us who defended it like, well, what if he mean like nicely styled hair? Like, what if her hair is styled in a pretty style? Then, that's nice hair. Or what if it's like nicely moisturized? What if she has like that ain't what he's talking about. And that's not what he's talking about, period. But anyways, even with all of that, I wasn't outraged about it because it's his preference. That is what it is. And I didn't feel like he was disrespecting us. Just like a lot of you guys are really big fans like myself. I appreciate what Nipsey stood for. I appreciate his movement. But like Nipsey Hussle, when he said, I like bitches that's light-skinned, that fuck around and get right with it, or whatever the words he said.
Look, I like bitches that's light-skinned with a whole lot of ass and get right with it.
I didn't get offended as a black woman. I'm just not his preference. And a lot of people, once they seen his baby mama, they was like, oh, he has a type. Well, it's like, well, he told you his type in his music. So, I'm not offended by that. So I'm not going to cancel Nipsey like, oh, I got to cancel him because he like light-skinned girls that get right with it. That's his preference. You get what I'm saying? I get mad when people talk about Black women like, oh, she dusty, she can't wear blonde, or oh, you can't wear this or that, and they try to down us like we're like roaches and call us roaches, and then that's when I have a problem with it. But you having a preference, I don't have a problem or issue with that. So again, I didn't really have an issue with this. Also, being around the industry, I've bumped into Chris at industry events. I've never felt like, you know, he treated dark-skinned girls one way, light-skinned girls one way. He always was kind, courteous. You know, I never had an issue. There are several celebrities who I've bumped into where I'm like, he could miss me. You know what I'm saying? Because they treat you a certain type of way. Like some celebrities will treat you like shit if you are dark-skinned, brown-skinned, because they don't fuck with you. And they prefer light-skinned women, and that's who they fuck with. Chris, although he prefers to date light-skinned women, I never felt that vibe from him. Like he was that type of person. So whatever his preference is, I didn't care.
But I also will add a little more context. And this Chris that I bumped into, this was 10 years ago when I was doing, you know, industry events in the beginning or whatever. I didn't get that vibe from him. I can't speak to what 2019 Chris is like because Tokyo Vanity, she came forward and she said that he doesn't like dark-skinned women in his section and his dark-skinned friend couldn't come in his section. I can't speak to that. I'm speaking to 2009 Chris, just to add context to the time that I'm speaking about.
However, so he commented back to this. So there was a post that posted his lyrics, and the page is called Good Vibes, and they posted the lyrics, and in the caption they said, it's some concerns about Chris Brown's song Need a Stack. On his latest album, in a song featuring Joyner Lucas and Lil Wayne, Chris' third verse, he says, only wanna F the black bees with nice hair. Many people are angry about this line and asking, what exactly is good hair, and why does Chris Brown not uplift Black women and talk about them in a more positive light? Hashtag Chris Brown, hashtag Need a Stack, hashtag Black women, blah, 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 blah. So under this post of Good Vibes, Chris Brown responded. So he responded under this post and he said, y'all tripping. Y'all bees don't want to F with the nigga with the effed up teeth, do you? ? Only bees upset is the uglies, not the black queens. So again, when he did this response, I'm just like, whatever. You know, he don't really like dark-skinned women. He's saying, you know, that's his way of responding to it. I wasn't outraged with this either. Well, he took it a step further because people are, you know, making it be a big deal. And people further decided to poke at him and say things about it. And so his last and final response, I was like, this is a bit much. But hold on one second. Okay, so on another page, and this page, because the first Instagram page that he responded to was Good Vibes, and they post a lot of, you know, celebrity commentaries type stuff as well. And so this page right here, I guess it's a page where they uplift Black women. And this page is called Black Girls Are It. And I never heard of this page before. I definitely check their page out now. But their page is called Black Girls Are It. And they posted up a post, and in there they said, so is this considered a preference or discrimination? Listen, we all have preferences. I'll give you that. Never will I discriminate against my own kind. Hashtag Chris Brown. So they hashtag Chris Brown. And again, I guess all day what he's doing is searching his hashtag on Instagram and responding to people and pages that have something to say about this record. So in his response, he says, Weird A, angry people, sincerely from the bottom of my balls, I don't give a F about y'all negative booty face ass bees. I'm start giving away free lace fronts for all you weird females with the skid row edges and low self-esteem. Aside from that, hop off these nuts. Half of y'all look like Budweiser frogs, so please don't come with the BS. I will fire that egg up and roast the hell out of you overly sensitive duckhead ass weirdos. This right here, I was like, like just when I was giving you a pass, I'm like, wait, what?
Now, like I said in the beginning, I don't have a problem with people having a preference. This right here was over the line and it stepped over the preference when he starts saying that, you know, he's going to be handing you lace fronts and he's, you know, booty face ABs. I'm like, is that like in reference to when people call dark skinned women African booty scratchers? And then he's saying, you know, the skid row edges. That right there, I felt like that was a direct diss to dark skinned, brown skinned women and women with coarse hair. And I felt like that was a little bit over the line. Like, do I have a problem with you having a preference? No. But is this a bit much? Yes, it is. And, you know, for that, it's like, that is just a little bit too much. So I definitely wanted to bring that to you guys and let you guys know what is going on and speak on the topic.
Okay, so I want to know what your thoughts on the matter is. And like I said, I wasn't outraged at the lyrics. Him saying that he likes girls with nice hair, I didn't really care too much about that. I already know the type of girls that he dates. I know that I'm not his cup of tea, and I wasn't outraged by that. But his last message was kind of offensive, and I do feel that that was a little bit way overboard. And those are the issues that I have a problem with, when black men will shit on us, you know what I'm saying, in their preference. I feel like that be the problem for me. Like I've even had a person tell me before, when I posted about I posted a video of one of my exes and he is light skinned, and a person had wrote to me and they were like, well, I find it funny how you call out colorism but you date light skinned guys. First of all, I don't shit on dark-skinned men and be like, ill, gross, you're gross, this and this and that. I do not discriminate against dating dark-skinned men. I date dark-skinned men. I date light-skinned men. I date caramel men. Black is beautiful, and we come in a variety of colors. I think it's ignorant to think that because you're brown skin, you can only date brown skin. And if you're light skin, you can only date whatever. I think that we come in a variety of colors. So it'd be ignorant for me to be like, oh, you're light skin, I can't date you. Like, no, I don't have a problem with a person's skin color. I feel like if you vibe with me, we vibe. And if we don't, we don't. You know, and as a dark-skinned woman, do I get approached by more light-skinned men? Yes, I do.
But just because I've been approached by more light-skinned men does not mean that I discriminate against dark-skinned men. And just because Chris Brown prefers women with nice hair, and we see him all the time with more mixed race looking women, I'm not going to automatically feel like, oh, like he's just shitting on all black women, unless he actually does it and actually shits on black women. So like I said, his initial comments, they didn't bother me. But his second and final comments, I was like, a bit much. Now, for me, I'll give you a little story time about myself, because a lot of people make a lot of assumptions, and I'll use this to clarify. And I especially want to use this as a teachable moment, because a lot of people get colorism confused. They get all of this stuff confused. It's a fine line between colorism, discrimination, preference. It's all kind of blurred lines in between. And I'll just use myself as an example. So for myself, if you only seen a couple of the guys who I've showed, two of which have been of lighter skin tone, you would assume and you would think, oh, she only dates light skinned guys. That assumption would be 100% false. Now, like I said, me being of darker skin tone, do more light skinned men approach me and try to date me? Yes, but you would still be 100% false in your assumption, because I love me some men of all shades.
And do I date dark-skinned men as well? Yes, I do. I've dated every shade of the black spectrum, from light to really, really dark. Okay. And the main guy that I was stuck on for the longest amount of time is probably closer to the color black than, we can all get.
But because I have never shown him, and I never showed my high school boyfriend, who was definitely on the darker shade of skin tones. He was probably one shade lighter than me. His name was John. Don't be trying to come back later and use me for clout when I blow up John. But anyways, I dated this boy in high school named John, and he was definitely I wouldn't say, probably one shade lighter than me, which is still dark skin for sure. or whatever, and he was dark skinned. DMX, who I love, was dark skinned. I had a crush on DMX for the longest time. That was Baby for sure. Belly is my favorite movie. But if I don't talk about that, then people would be left on their assumptions and they would assume, oh, she only dates light-skinned guys because I seen her with a light-skinned guy that one time. So that means she dates light-skinned guys and discriminates against dark-skinned guys. That doesn't mean that. Colorism, for the people who do not know, is when you discriminate against a particular skin tone. I date light-skinned guys, and I also date dark-skinned guys, and I also date caramel guys and brown guys. That does not, fall under the lines of me discriminating against dark-skinned men because I date a light-skinned man. That just means that if a light-skinned man approach me and we vibe, then we date. If a dark-skinned man approach me and we vibe, then hey, we date. Me, I don't have those issues. I'm not, blinded by color. I'm not, saying like, oh, he's dark, I can't talk to him. No, that's not what it is. Colorism is when you discriminate against darker skin tones and you will not date darker skin tones. Me, I've dated darker skin tones, love them, done had the best relationships with them. I have no problem. We come in all different shapes, colors, sizes, varieties, shades. And if you think that because I talk about colorism, if I meet Prince Charming tomorrow, he got a good job, he's charming, he got all of my prerequisites, he's good with my child, he treats me nice, he, does all the things that I want him to do. If you think that I'm going to say, no, I can't date you, and if he happens to be light skinned, you're crazy. And if you think that if that same man who made all of these prerequisites and he treated me nice and he was dark skinned, I'm going to not go for it, you're also crazy. I don't have no color lines. If you treat me nice, you a good man, and we could build together, we can grow together. I don't see no color lines. But if you only seen one person, you would automatically assume, oh, okay, well, she only or she must. No, you would be wrong. So I don't try to go into those same assumptions when it comes to certain rappers, certain singers, and certain people. Now, do we have a problem with a lot of our men only dating Hispanic women, only dating light-skinned mixed race women? Yes, we do. And it is a huge problem in our community. But the times that I have a problem and I call it out and I have an issue is when it is direct colorism. Like I pointed out, the YouTubers who had colorism when they talked about black people being tar and roaches, and I think I covered Maul from the Joe Budden podcast where he was talking about black women and blonde hair, and when they talk about us in those type of ways, those are the issues that I have. When I see these men and these rappers only dating light-skinned women, is it annoying? Is it something that I know, they probably ain't effing with us? Yes, but am I going to call out each and every one just because they date a light-skinned girl? No. But when I see direct colorism, I will continue to inform my people on my platform because it is a huge problem in our community. So I just wanted to be clear on that because a lot of you guys are unclear and a lot of the lines are definitely blurred. To go back to this whole post, it's about Chris Brown. His initial statements, his statements about him liking girls with nice hair, that was a reference to more of the mixed race, Karrueche looking women. That didn't bother me.
And so, I think that it's ignorant to feel like, people have to only date one color, like, oh, if he doesn't date black women or dark skinned women, then, we got to burn him to a stake. I don't feel like that. Only time that I have a problem, like I've always said, is when they disrespect us. And that was kind of a direct shade to dark-skinned women and women with coarser hair and black women. And it's not only black women who have coarse hair. We're going to be clear about that as well. I actually have people that I know who are mixed race and their hair is coarser than mine, like way coarser than mine, and I'm not mixed. But let's be clear. Most times when they make shots like that, and they're directing it towards us that are of the darker shade of the black spectrum. So us with darker skin, brown skin, that's normally who they're really aiming at towards. You know what I'm saying? And no, it's not just us with coarse hair. There's light-skinned girls with coarse hair and all of that. But when they make those shots, they're normally directing it towards us.
So to just wrap this up, I want to know what you guys think about this. Given all of the information that I've shared in this video, given the comments that he made about nice hair, were you offended by that comment or were you not offended by it at all? I wasn't personally offended by that comment. However, like I said, and it's starting to be repetitive, I was offended more so with his response to it than anything, but I want to know what you guys feel about it down below. And I want to know, considering and with a better understanding of colorism, hopefully I was able to, describe it a little bit better for some of you. Maybe some of you still probably went over your heads, but I tried. Anyways, I want to know what you guys think about it down below. And am I about to start a whole cancel Chris Brown campaign? No, I'm not.
You know what I'm saying? But I don't know. Like, am I going to go out and run to buy his albums? Am I going to be front row at his concerts? Am I going to do any of that? Highly unlikely.
But anyways.
All right, guys, that's all for this video. Stay tuned for more celebrity news and gossip. But in order to do that, you definitely have to hit that subscribe button. And if you want to be notified when I post another video, hit that notification bell so that you're notified whenever I post a vid. Okay? And if you like the video, hit like. If you don't like it, hey, you can even leave a dislike. But let your girl know that you stopped by. All right? All right, guys. Peace.